Hey there, Razorback fans. I'm Sydney Lemmerhurt, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be your host for today's special interviews featuring two exceptional athletes from the Arkansas Razorback Gymnastics team. Allow me to introduce you to Chandler Buntin and Kalyxta Gamiao. But before we dive into their stories, let's take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, the Everett Auto Group. They're the driving force behind Buick's See Her Greatness campaign, celebrating the achievements and empowerment of female athletes. With locations in Benton, Bryant, and Rogers, the Everett Auto Group is all about supporting women in sports, and we're so grateful to have them on board. Now let's get ready to explore the journeys of Chandler and Kalyxta. As your host for today's interviews and a former gymback myself, I'm honored to guide you through the experiences and insights of these two remarkable athletes. It's time to hear their stories and discover what makes them true champions on and off the mat. So without further ado, hi guys, welcome. Hi. Could you guys start off by telling me a little bit about yourself, your name, background, and really how you got into gymnastics?
Yeah, so my name is Chandler. I am from Memphis, Tennessee, or right outside of Memphis, Tennessee, and I started gymnastics when I was 4. I actually got in with like the mommy and me classes with my mom, you know, all of that. And I think one of the biggest things that like made me start gymnastics was like 2008 Olympics, and I was watching Shawn Johnson, and my mom always tells me that I was like, Mom, I want to do that, like I want to flip like that. And so I think that's just kind of how I started gymnastics, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm Kalyxta. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I've been doing gymnastics since I was 3 years old. I started off with drill team, but they told me I was too young and to start off with gymnastics. And I just never even went back to drill team because I loved it so much.
Loved it so much. So this question wasn't on your script, but I'm going to ask it, especially for you because you're from Hawaii. So why did you pick Arkansas?
I picked Arkansas. Actually, fun fact, Arkansas was like never on my list. I mean, I've always thought, like, I've always loved it. But I just never thought that I would go there. But the reason I ended up choosing Arkansas was because I've always wanted to go to an SEC school. And I came and visited, and like this SEC school was like nothing like I've ever visited before, because I went and visited a few other schools, and I just wasn't feeling the vibe. But the vibe in Arkansas is a lot like my hometown, especially Fayetteville. So it was really nice to have that like homey feel, but also have like the vibrant life of like Fayetteville, and the hills are amazing because I'm from like really flat. Like, there's nothing there. And
you're the only one to ever like the hills.
No,
I think.
I love it. It's beautiful. Like I'll literally be on campus and I'll look and I'm like, oh my goodness, like the sunset just beautiful on the hills. And so I just loved it. I loved the environment in the gym and the environment in the campus. So it just felt like home.
You got that feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. What about you?
For me, Arkansas also was not on my list until Jordan got the position, and they reached out, and we've talked and everything. And when I came on a visit, I just loved it here. I love the campus, love the team and everything. And it's also cool to be on an SEC team.
Yeah. Were you nervous about being so far from home?
I was, yes. It was a big adjustment in the beginning, but then over the years I got used to it. So
You've done a great job adjusting, I would say so. Can you both share like a moment where in your career you realized gymnastics is what I want to do? Obviously, like, we give up so much of our lives to do our sport. It's not like any other sport. What was that like light bulb moment maybe for you that you're like, wow, I want to do this in college, like this is what I want to do with my life?
Okay, so mine, so maybe not like do it in college, because I definitely was not thinking about college at this age, but it was my first competition, and I was like an XL silver, like I was just doing it for fun, whatever. I ended up getting like 8th place at this meet. Like, it was a small meet too, like I was not
The
very
fact
good.
that you did excel and now are in college is like really impressive.
I know, I was, Anyways, I was like got 8th place, and I remember like looking up at like the 1st and 2nd place, and I was like, why am I not there? Like, I want to be up there. Like, I want to do that. And I think that kind of sparked my like competitive nature. And so, I mean, to be in gymnastics, you have to be competitive, like with other people and even with yourself. And so I think that was kind of the moment when me and my parents were both like, like she wants this. Like, she wants to excel at this. And so, the next meet, I actually ended up getting 2nd place.
Hey, there you go.
My trophy with me to breakfast the next morning.
Oh, I'm sure.
I loved it. So I think that was like the defining moment when I knew like this is something that I wanted to do.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Excel is like kind of separate from like the competition team. They have meets, but they're not like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a rec club team
Yeah.
in the club team. So to make it this far out of Excel, like, that is such a fun fact, and that's super interesting. I love it. I love it. What about you, Lix?
I remember going to one of the meets where it was like a club meet but also a college meet, and one of our old teammates was competing for Stanford, and I just thought it was like so cool, and like not many of my teammates did college gymnastics just because it's so small and everything in Hawaii. But I don't know, I just like, after watching her and just like keep watching multiple of my teammates go to college, I was like, that seems fun and I want to do that.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. They made it like possible for you to think, oh, I can make it out of here, you know? So what do you guys think is more important for a gymnast, your attitude or your technique?
Definitely attitude.
That's
like
what Scylla said.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's just like that. That saying. It's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I truly believe that, because you can have all the talent in the world, you can have all the technique in the world, but if you don't have like the drive or the work ethic or the grit to like go and pursue your dreams, like your talent is just sitting there. Like, you know, you're not gonna be able to use it.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah.
I also think attitude.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a good attitude to like put in the work and to want to have the good technique.
Yeah.
So having a good attitude.
Yeah. And gym is so mental. Like, what you have to put yourself through to chuck your body through the air on a 4-inch beam, like, if you don't have a good attitude about that, you're not going up there and doing anything.
No, and you really have to love it.
Yeah, you do. So knowing that it's super interesting, because everyone thinks like, oh, like you said, the talent aspect, oh, she's super talented. It's like, yeah, but if she hates her life in gymnastics, like, she's going to get burnt out pretty quickly. There's a lot to it. So women's sports, specifically gymnastics really, but women's sports are just blowing up right now. You know, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Livy Dunn, that stuff is just blowing up across social media. How do you guys think that social media can be utilized to really bring some positives to the female athlete world?
Do you want to say something?
Sure. I think just like to show like what we can accomplish.
Yeah.
Like, no matter like the gender, the race, or anything, just showing that anything is possible no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And especially like social media, like everyone is on it, even little kids nowadays.
Which is crazy.
So it can reach like so many people nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just all boils down to normalizing that, like, women's sports are just the same as men's sports. And I think what Lick said, like, about all the little girls that are watching on social media, that are scrolling through their mom's Instagram or Facebook or whatever, whatever they're not
on their iPad at dinner.
Yeah, they're looking. And, like, they see that, man, all of these older girls are doing it. Like, I can do that, too. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember growing up not really seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Of course, like, we didn't really have social media. But, like, I never saw, like, women's basketball on TV.
I didn't either.
I never watched it. And now my sister, like, I have two younger siblings, two younger sisters. And, like, my sister loves women's basketball. She wants to be an SEC basketball player.
That is awesome.
She watches Caitlin Clark, has got a Caitlin Clark magazine for Easter. Like,
I love that.
And I just never remember watching anything. I was watching football with my dad, or basketball with my dad. And to be able to see that, like, how the tides are turning is like really, really awesome, and it's really cool to see, especially through my younger sisters.
Yeah, and you guys are in like a really pivotal moment of women's sports, and like my favorite thing right now is the Everyone Watches Women's Sports. I just got my t-shirt delivered today, so I'm very excited. I wanted it so bad because, like you said, like, we're finally being treated like men's sports, which we should have been all along, and we're still growing. Like, there's still so much to do, so knowing your platforms is going to be really important to y'all right now. Let's move on to some fun questions, some lighthearted questions. Okay. When you do visualization, do you visualize yourself like ever falling, like before a beam routine? Like, what are you visualizing? Like, are you watching yourself do the routine? Or are you like doing the routine like you're in your own body? Because that was always a big topic of debate there.
Yeah, it is.
I definitely like fight with my brain.
Yeah,
because
me
like
too.
I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna visualize like literally a perfect 10 routine, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna hit everything and stick the dismount, and all of it's gonna be perfect. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and I get in there and I do my series. And I'm like, why did I just fall?
Yeah, I just wobbled.
Like,
I just fell. Yes.
Like I'm supposed to be doing this perfectly. So I definitely fight with myself, and I'm a really big visualizer. Like I love to visualize, just because like, especially now, we're at the age where we can't do that many numbers.
Yeah.
And so whenever I visualize, it makes me feel like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And like getting the reps in when I can't really.
Yeah, well, you can't do anything because your body's broken. Yeah.
So, I'm definitely just always like fighting with myself, and I'll always end up falling. And I'm like, get it back together. Like, snap out of it. No, that's not okay.
Do you watch yourself, or do you are you internalizing it?
I kind of do both.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes back and forth. Like, I can't just sit and close my eyes and visualize.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh no, I have to be moving.
Yeah, that one I will just see myself like
Me too.
planning or
Me too.
anything.
Yeah.
So like I just move, and like I think like when I first start a skill, I see myself like looking.
Yeah.
Like from my eyes, but then once I do it,
you're watching yourself. Yep, that was me too. Like I could see like, oh, this is where my feet are gonna be. Like this is where the judges are, and all of a sudden I'm watching from the side doing a series, and it's like, how am I in this view all of a sudden? Doesn't make sense. Really Gymnastics is a weird sport that we even do this in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, who was your first female athlete that you remember watching and looking up to? And it doesn't have to be a gymnast, but if it is, kind of elaborate on that.
Like I said, like mine was Shawn Johnson.
Yep.
I just thought she was the coolest.
Yeah.
She was
my favorite.
And she was my favorite too. I know a lot of people, there's like controversy.
Gymnastics versus Shawn. No, I was a Shawn person.
Me
Yep.
too, for sure. I don't know why. I just think that her, like, she was just so powerful and like such a powerhouse. Like she would just go and flip and do all the crazy things.
Yeah.
Mine was Gabby Douglas. I remember I did a paper about her. I think I had to pick my favorite female athlete, and I picked her, and I remember doing all my research, and I just loved watching her.
Yeah. Okay, final question. How would you address any haters that are out there and advocate for greater recognition and, positivity in female sports?
Yeah, I think addressing the haters, I mean, sometimes you just gotta ignore, but we're at the stage where men and women are created equal. Yep. And you can argue that genetically men might be stronger or whatever, but we have all the same abilities as they do, if not more. Yep. We can have the same grit, the same toughness. We can be just as strong, if not stronger in some ways as they are. We can run as fast as they can. Like, there's so many different things that we are the same. Yeah. And I think that's really important for people to realize and normalize, because we know that the stereotypes are that women are dainty and they're fragile. Yeah. And in that case, it's not.
Yeah, it's not true at all. Yeah. What about you? Do you have anything to say to the haters?
Just like you said, too. I just feel like you don't really have to address them. Yep. Because all they're going to do is, their goal is to bring you down. And to get your attention. And if you do that, then they're basically winning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's best to just block that out and just continue to like fight for your dreams. And it doesn't matter, again, what I said, like race, gender, ethnicity, anything. But if you have a dream, you should go follow it.
Yeah, love that. Well, I'm so proud of you guys. From female athlete to female athlete, I'm so proud. I'm so excited to cheer you on in Fort Worth. I can't wait to go watch. Yeah, so excited. Well, thank y'all. That is a wrap on today's episode. I want to extend a massive thank you to the phenomenal athletes who joined us today. Your stories are the heart and soul of this podcast, and your greatness shines through in all the words that you said today. I also want to express my gratitude to the Everett Auto Group for continuing to promote the See Her Greatness campaign. With locations in Benton, Bryant, and Rogers, they're not just in the business of selling cars, they're champions of celebrating female excellence in sports. To my listeners, I can't thank you enough for tuning in and being a part of this empowering journey. Remember, you can catch up on all of our episodes and stay connected with the latest from Everett's See Her Greatness campaign by following us on social media. Until next time, keep believing in your greatness, keep striving for your dreams, and keep celebrating the incredible achievements of women in sports. This is Sydney Limmerhurt signing off.